So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Class Bumblebee. And this may be the most undeserving shelf warmer of all time. This figure has been on shelves in my area for, like, ever. This and Air Razor do not leave. Now, it's a Bumblebee, so I'm guessing it's because they made so many of them figures. And I do like both of these figures. And this figure here isn't even one they consider bad. Air Razor's hit or miss. I love the Air Razor mold, though. I think a lot of people really do like that mold, but that version of Air Razor is the worst version of that mold. Pterosaur exists, so I'm not going to say it's the worst. But this one in particular is probably the best Studio Series Bumblebee they've ever released. That is no small feat, because they've released like 50,000 of them. Like, half of the Studio Series, maybe not half, like 25% of it has to be Bumblebees, though. It has to be. The first figure is a Bumblebee. The 100th figure, which is this, if I'm not mistaken, is a Bumblebee. And this guy is really good. Now, I'm going to have to point this out here because, yes, I actually painted that myself. Out of the box, this comes yellow, which looks ugly. I really hated it. Also, the tires as well come out of the box. They're just plain black. I painted them, and I think it looks really good. It's the only time I've ever really done custom work to a figure myself. I've never really done that. But in this case, I think it was very much needed on the blade. The yellow blade just didn't look right. The silver looks so much better. It's only Sharpie, though, so it's really pretty easy to get off of it. But this here looks really nice with the tires. I like the detailing that I put in there. By detailing, I mean it just kind of did it itself. But as far as it goes with the figure, head sculpt is the definition of a movie Bumblebee, and it looks perfect. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's the perfect size. His chest piece is a little small. I will say it's a little small, but it's mostly faux. The corner sections here are not faux, but the middle, of course, is, as per usual. The back here has the wings, of course, with the doors, and then also the wheels, as per usual. The back panel has the hood, and then the legs actually are pretty clean on this version, and the feet are also pretty good. They're actually quite good at standing. Like, they're just big enough to where it doesn't really matter. Like, you'll stand no matter what, and they're not too big looking, in my opinion. They look pretty good with the size of the legs themselves. And I mean, as far as it goes, he just is a very good-looking figure. The silver on him looks great. I don't know why they just stopped using it, especially on the blade. They really needed it on there. Like I said, that's probably one of my biggest complaints with this figure is that the blade wasn't painted, and I had to do that myself. But the paintwork on the face is really good. The silver there, silver down the legs and on the arms. It just looks really good when they have it there. One thing that's a little bit more annoying, again, is the gun. They painted basically just gunmetal. And the gun is not arm-removable gun, which some Bumblebees tend to have. Which, if I can get this off, here we go. Yeah, this one's not a arm gun. It just goes over the hand, which I've liked that they've been doing that lately. And if I'm not mistaken, it does have a storage point on the back here. Like so. So you can just kind of store it on the door. If you don't want it on his hands, I think the same thing does function for the blade here. But as far as it goes, the blade also is removable. It's the same type of blade connection as the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, if you own that figure. I don't blame you if you did and got rid of that. That one sucks. But this one is pretty good. Nonetheless, I like this blade, like I said. The paint, very much needed, though, as it's just going to be a yellow piece of plastic otherwise. And as far as it goes, the articulation here on Bumblebee, quite good. He has a ball joint in the head, which has pretty much all the range you'd like. Forward, back, very restricted because there's stuff in the way. You can't really move the wheel. The wings wouldn't be as bad, but it's the wheels that really restrict it. Outward, you have a elbow and then a swivel. No wrist rotation, which is really weird. I feel like they could have did it. They just didn't. Waist swivel, forward, back, outward is kind of restricted. It's just how that's kind of sculpted. Got a ball joint as well, which, as you just seen, popped off. We have a knee joint, which goes pretty much exactly 90. In the feet, it does have a rotation along with the tilt. But you do not get forward and back, unfortunately. So, I mean, standard Transformers articulation, you're not really getting anything crazy. I'll say it's a little below standard because most do have wrists now. So, it is a little weird to not get the wrists, I must say. But as far as it goes, that's really it for Bumblebee's robot mode. So, let's get into the transformation to the alternate form. So, to transform Bumblebee to his alt form, it is pretty easy. First thing we're going to do is basically come in here and just start working at the chest. One of the more annoying aspects, you have to fold out this back section, which there's only a little bit of color matching issues going on. Like, this is a bit more pale. You can see it. It's not as bad on most of the figure, though. So that's something that's a positive. That's always an issue with Bumblebees is color matching. You can then take that, and you kind of have to, like, wiggle it out of this area and get it to go forward. I'm going to leave that like that for now and come down to the legs. And you're going to fold out these little intersections, and then you're going to take the feet, and then the heel section here rotates, and the feet just slot in. This is the simplest version of the Bumblebee leg transformation out of Studio Series, I'm pretty sure. If I am not mistaken, I don't think there's anything that was simpler than that. Just fold a couple panels. Like, that was really nice, really easy, and I appreciate it because a lot of the other ones go a whole ways through it, and it's not really easy. As much as I do actually I'm like one of the few people I feel like that loves the more complicated transformations. I really love those, because it just brings me back to the Michael Bay movie figures. And I love them things a lot. I love how complicated they were, especially as a kid. And then you're going to put that there. That can be put in place, and then that just tabs there. The doors shut. Take the arms, and they just fold down. And fold in the wheels first before you fold the arms down, because if you don't, then they actually won't fold down. But then you can just fold the arms down like so. And you end up with Bumblebee's off-road Camaro mode. And the off-road Camaro mode looks really good. I actually quite like it. My only kind of complaint is I wish they didn't use clear windows. Always a thing with this. They always use them. It's not really clear. It's more of a smoky color. But I kind of wish they had went with a different kind of color. You know? Like, it's just not dark enough. You can see right through it. And, I mean, there's a hole in the bottom of it. So that's not very good. As far as it goes, there is still, like, weapon storage, if you'd like. Instead of the sword stashing on the arm, you could still do that. It stashes right there. And this, there's a small peg hole right there. I'm not joking. That's it. It's very, very hard to notice. There's a little slot, and it pegs into the back. That's the whole weapon storage for the gun. But I do like the Camaro mode. Now, as far as it goes, the black is very good, but the, again, lack of silver was a little weird. Like I said, painting the wheels, the blacked out rims might have been correct, but I like the look of the silver. I really do. They also picked out the headlights, which is very good. And on the back, we also have the tail lights. No bumper, or not bumper, license plate. The bumper is just in black as well, but so is this one, so completely reasonable. If all of these, like, you know, off-road type elements are in black, I'm just going to assume they're supposed to be black. But as far as it goes, the car mode is good. It does roll quite nicely, even though the arms are blatantly sticking out the bottom. That's probably the worst aspect of this entire figure, is that the arms are just not hidden. They're just in plain sight. There's not really much more you could do about them. They're pretty solid. But as far as it goes, that's really it for the alt form. So let's just get to my final thoughts on Bumblebee here. And as far as they go, I mean, really good Bumblebee. Like I said, this is probably the best Studio Series one. And it's not a hard thing to do. Like, there's a couple, but it's the best Camaro one, I should say. Because there's a couple other Studio Series Bumblebees that are good. I'm thinking, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people seem to like the B127. Is that right? Cybertron Bumblebee, and then the Jeep Bumblebee, I've always seen people seem to like. I don't own either of those. I haven't really had any intention of getting them. But this one I basically just was at work, and I was like, it's there, so I'm just going to buy it and put it on my desk. And so I did, and I probably messed with him the second most. The most I messed with was Nightbird. Nightbird is like my favorite of the more recent studio series I bought. But this figure is a really good figure nonetheless. I mean, if you can get him, especially if he's cheap. I think the day I'm recording this is Amazon Prime Day, and the day this is going up will also be the second day of Amazon Prime Day, and he's probably on sale. A lot of figures are. In fact, when I was looking, the Snipers 2-pack, I don't know the characters' names, the one with the Ascenticon and then the RC Studio Series remold were like $45 for both. That's Canadian, by the way, which in Canada, where I live, $45? That is a deluxe. That's a full-on deluxe. That's how much a deluxe costs. So $5 taxes where I live, it's like $50, and I got a deluxe, and for an extra $5, another deluxe. I did that in a heartbeat. Also got some extra figure arts, but one of them's a birthday present, so yeah, Sal's not going to get reviewed for a while. But this guy is really, really good. And if, especially, like I said, if you can get him discounted, or even just in general, if you're just looking for a good Bumblebee, I'd get him. But again, there's a new Bumblebee coming out that's in Hasbro's, like, A line. They're going to have more of a in-store presence, and I'm positive that he's probably in that same vein, because I never did not see him in Air Razor. Air Razor is still clogging up my local Walmart Studio Series Deluxes. Like, the other two are completely gone. This guy just won't, like, not him. He was actually harder to get than Air Razor, but he was constantly restocked, so there is that. But like I said, this guy, just an amazingly good Bumblebee. I couldn't recommend him enough. Really couldn't. I'm going to give him a 4.5, just because of the damn blade. That's what he's getting dropped off of, because if that was painted silver, it would have been a 5 out of 5, easy. The arms don't bother me in the alt mode. It works. Everything's fine. Transformation's fun and easy. It's just a really good figure. Go get it. Anyway, that's been a review of Rise of the Beast Studio Series Bumblebee. This has been Eltile Delete signing out.